Hello, class, and Dr. Chong. My name is Mauricio Flores, and today I'm going to be talking about 4 prompts, and I'm going to be going with them each in order. Number 1 is based on your understanding of Herzberg's two-factor theory of job satisfaction, what types of incentives or employee programs are most likely to reduce job satisfaction? What types of incentives or employee programs are most likely to increase job satisfaction? Now, the two-factor theory of job satisfaction is job satisfaction and job dissatisfaction. It's pretty simple. It's the Herzberg's two-factor theory. Now, what types of incentive programs would be, great to increase job satisfaction? There's really so much that you can start off with. It's really hard to start somewhere because there's a lot. I would definitely say from my own experience, I would say like holding like company events every once in a while when a goal is reached. Like free food, free beverages, free gear, like work gear for everybody, for everyone who's doing a great job, even the ones who are slacking. Like these types of incentives, make you actually want to work the next day when you go in, and that's definitely an incentive that I've seen that's worked a lot. People like free stuff. It is what it is. And something else would, if I had to choose, there's really so much to choose from. I would definitely say like a bonus for, working for like a specific event, a very important event. You know, I remember when I was working at the hotel, one of the incentives was for every review that you get like $20, which is pretty crazy because, you know, all you have to do is just ask someone to leave a good review and they'll do it. And you can make an extra $20 on your paycheck. Ask a lot of people. You can make a good extra 100, $200. It's crazy. And that's a really good incentive to increase job satisfaction. Now, I wouldn't say that review one is, to completely diminish job dissatisfaction. I feel like those things are not, the perfect cure to reduce job dissatisfaction. That's just something personal that you have to crack with each employee. I feel like if you get to really know each employee, their struggles, and work with them, that's how you reduce job dissatisfaction. All right, the second prompt. Compare McClelland's acquired needs theory and its emphasis on needs being shaped by experience and cultural background over time to Maslow's hierarchy of needs and ERG theory. Of these three theories, which do you think provide the most useful and realistic explanation for human development and motivation? Why? Now, between these three, theories, McClelland's is more focused on power. Maslow's is more focused on the more psychological aspect of it, the more the human side, because it talks about hunger again, like psychological things. It's very detailed, and it's a very good graph for that shows the hierarchy of needs that people need or that people have. Now the ERG one is it's very basic. It's very it's like a watered down version of the last two because it really just talks more about existence and growth, which is that's already present in those models. So the one that is shaped by cultural background and experience more is definitely Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I feel like that's the one that's always being the one traced back to from all these jobs. It's always the one that's like shown on like the HR little posters and stuff that I've at the jobs I've worked at because it's just very detailed. There's really a lot to learn from that graph of needs that shows from everyone. The hunger, the motivation, the self-awareness, the psychological part. There's just so much, and it's so intricate. Now, which one provides the most useful and realistic explanation for human development and motivation? Gonna say it again. That Maslow's hierarchy of needs really highlights the needs of what people have, and it really shows like how broad all of our needs are, because it's not just a few things like the ERG theory. It's just existence and growth, and this other one I don't remember. But it really just showcases the needs that humans have. Now, assume you are a manager of an auto dealership and all your sales people, employees are achieving the goals they have set for themselves in terms of weekly car sales. On the surface, this would seem like a good thing. However, what could be a problem with this? Now, when you're a manager and you're leading a sales team, it's a very tough job just due to the fact that, you know, everyone has to be hitting their quotas. The higher ups are watching you. I've worked in sales before, so I definitely know what it feels like. And without a doubt, it is extremely stressful. I've seen my bosses like shaking when you know they're not hitting their numbers, and the bosses come in. You know, they're always scared for their lives, because if you're not hitting the quota, so pretty much like the number that they see on, like, you know, on their screen, your sales numbers, it really just shows it's a reflection of who you are, especially at a job that's extremely busy, like the one I was at. I was working at LA Fitness, and man, that place is just busy. So if you don't have any sales numbers, it's not a good look. Luckily, I was on the personal training side, so their standards, you know, they have to have like a specific quota, you know, for when people are being interviewed and stuff, and they need to see like how much they have to make. But once you're really in there, they're very lenient, they're very, you know, human to some extent, and they're not, you know, breathing down your neck, oh, you have to make this sale, man, like you have to get these numbers every month. It was a lot, you know, it was very watered down after working there for a while, because you don't have to do exactly as they say. You just have to try, get some sales. But for membership sides, or for the membership side, you gotta be at like almost 100% occupancy, like without a doubt. Not occupancy, but 100%, is like almost every person that walks in for membership gets one when they leave. So diving back to the auto dealership part, I mean, for car dealerships, you gotta hit your quotas. It's a lot different than a gym. You know, if everyone starts hitting their sales, it looks good on paper. But the thing is that life is very linear. You know, it's linear, but there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of ups and downs that come with that. I feel like if you're hitting your sales quota every week without like any flaws, like I feel like the workers are being overworked. They're working all day. It looks good on paper. It does, but at the same time, it's, you know, there's always more than what meets the eye, especially with sales, because I know I would hit my, you know, quota sometimes for personal training. Actually, I've never hit my quota, but I always hit like the standards that they have once you're actually in the job. And it's a lot more laid back than, like, you know, memberships and cars. And while it is a good thing to hit your sales, it's, you know, it really depends on the capacity of what the employees have. You know, they're working all day, you know, they're hitting the sales that goes every week, but I mean, humans are not machines. Some are, like Dean Karnazes, that's a human running machine, but most people are not like him. You know, like most people, you know, they can't really work like 12 hours every day. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. You know, we don't have like the super capacity to go crazy all the time, working all these hours. So I feel like the only problem I could see is that they're being overworked, because if you're hitting your goals every week, it's very like unrealistic, because most of the time, like, the goals are not going to be hit all the time. And I feel like when you hit your goals and sometimes you don't, it's like I said, it's up and down, but it's slowly linear, so it's slowly going up. So I really feel like it's very robotic if you're hitting it like all the time. Um, yeah, hitting that sales quota is definitely what the bosses want. It's definitely what the higher ups want. It's definitely what corporate wants. But when you're the manager and you're inside and you're seeing all like this chaos unfold, like it's time to lower it down a little, calm the situation. You don't have to be like a sale machine. But on the bright side of things, it's gonna look good. For numbers wise, you could get promoted, but for long term, like working that hard, like all day, every day, you're gonna get burnt out. Unless you're a machine, most likely not. That's really the only problem I see. You're hitting your goals every week. You're making that money. You're making the store money. You're hitting the quotas, the numbers on the board. But at the same time, when you're hitting these goals every week for so long, you're setting kind of a bar for yourself. So once you start falling really, you start going down bad, it's not going to be a good look. I feel like once you explode up and then you just fall back down, it's kind of an embarrassing look. I feel like when you're slowly going up and down a little bit, linear, it's a much better look for sure. Now, for the last prompt, to what extent are perceptions of procedural justice versus distributive justice a matter of perception? How can managers reduce inaccurate perceptions of workplace inequities? Now, this was a bit confusing, but I was able to crack it. So, procedural justice is more very professional, like straight to the point. You're breaking the law, no questions asked. We're taking action. And distributive justice is just, I feel like they look into it more with like what the situation is. Like they're a little bit biased. They pick up on actions of the people. They can kind of create their own sense of justice there. So it's more personable. But at the same time, like it just really depends on what's really going on. Like if there's something serious going on, that procedural justice is really that's what's gonna come in handy for you. But I feel like if it's like a very small matter, it does not need to be taken that seriously. And that's where the distributive justice comes in. Now, for the last part of the prompt, how can managers reduce inaccurate perceptions of workplace inequities? Now, as a former manager for a gym, it's a big place for inequities to happen. There's a lot of favoritism, which is horrible. There should not be any favoritism. Of course, you're gonna have favorites, but like you do not need to treat them, differently. Like they're your noble steed or something. Excuse me. There's a lot of inequity in the gym. A lot of backstabbing. And really, to prevent the inequities is just being genuine, not being two-faced, helping everyone out, not resulting to, worst case scenario types of confrontations and scenarios. Like it's just, you don't need to take it that far. Now, how to really prevent this? Now, I did list a few things, but at the same time, having a good relationship with HR as a manager in the company, that's how you're gonna prevent these inequities from happening. Because when HR's on your side, they're the last person you don't want on your side. I feel like when you have a good relationship with them, things will always connect greatly. Now, with discrimination in the workplace, people being looked upon differently. Like I said earlier, it's always about being genuine. It's really about being the best manager you can for the employees and really listening to people's problems, because I feel like a lot of people don't really listen someone's problems nowadays, especially in management. So I feel like that's really the key to prevent all these inequities. Thank you for listening, class, and Dr. Chong. Thank you.